All righty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly update. Hope everybody's having a lovely weekend. And with that being said, into the TA. All right, guys, we're going to kick it off here with the indices. We'll start off with the weekly chart over here on QQQ, and then we'll make our way over to the FANG stocks, the semiconductors, to the Bitcoin stocks, and then we do have 10 to 20 trade ideas going into the following week for you. That will be at the end of the video if you would like to skip forward. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. I am going to preface this video by saying I do think it is a very real possibility that we will continue the pullback we spoke about the other day on this channel into next week. I do think that pullback will be bought. All right, so QQQ did close out with a large upper wick here, and that is pretty similar. You know, that's the common theme we got going across the board here on these indices. We got the large upper wick. It does suggest we could get a pullback next week, but that is no surprise because we knew, I think it was on, that day right there, we were going to be looking for that pullback. There's no point in not taking profits. All right, now we have the large upper wick on the weekly chart. The spot that stands out to me is right over here, all right? 478.83 to 480.38. That is what I'm going to be paying attention to this week. You can see the daily RSI is starting to hinge down. All right, I do not think the run is over. I think it is just going to be a pullback, and then that pullback gets bought up, and then eventually we're going to end up here, all right? I do not think we are going to fully unwind this move that we just had. I think this breakout really just started, and that is kind of how SPY's chart is looking as well, except it's looking even better. All right, so support, what we're going to be paying attention to is 485.54. Under there, you really have pretty much nothing until 480.38, so pretty thin area we got going on here. So I'm definitely going to be eyeing over here. The daily 9 EMA will be right here, so we probably will get a reaction off of that. Maybe we come down and print a hammer candlestick off of it. If not, that does open us up for, you know, a deeper pullback. Okay, support is going to be 485.54, and underneath there we're looking for 480.38. On the upside as resistance, we have 490.73. That was this level right here that you broke down from. All right, that is something that is being respected. Above 490.73, we have 493.69, 498.44, and 503.52. Now, I don't think these levels up here are going to be relevant for this week. I think we probably are going to go a little something like this. Maybe you dance around. All right, and then eventually we start making our way back up there. Okay, but you know, you see, this could happen not this week. All right, sometime, you know, maybe mid-October. I don't know exactly how things are going to go, but I will, you know, I will share the opinions as we go. Okay, so that is QQQ. We're going to move over here to SPY. And on the weekly chart, you can also see we have that upper wick. All right, so you had that last week as well. You had it this week, all right? They don't mean we're just going to immediately sell off these upper wicks. They do tell us, though, that sometime throughout the week, sellers started taking control, okay? That is really it. Like, I'm not going to say take control, but, you know, you can clear as they see, yeah, bulls pushed you up last week, but then you have sellers, you know, clearly taking a stand there. What happened this week? We really didn't go anywhere, all right? We didn't do much this week. And that's, you know, that's kind of expected. We were looking for consolidation or pullback now, and there's no reason really not to be taking these profits if you were riding this bad boy. You had no reason to. If you rode that and you took profits into the highs, there you go. We knew to be bullish on this dip. We were very bullish on this dip. We were pounding the table on this dip. We were going like that on this dip. And yeah, I mean, you were buying down here. Maybe you bought right here, but you're not buying right here. You're waiting for it to come over here. And, you know, no financial advice will be given on this channel. But hey, okay, there's probably going to be that buying opportunity right around the corner. Hashtag this week. All right, this week, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm thinking. All right, and, you know, maybe by the end of the week, we get bought up. That puts in like a weekly hammer. Things could shape up pretty well here, okay? We do have elections right around the corner, so maybe volatility increases going into that event. But yeah, let's finish off over here talking about SPY. Now, as support, I'm literally just going to say watch Friday's low, and for resistance, watch Thursday's high, okay? 574.71 is your resistance. If you can get your head above there, we're going to be targeting and watching that 580 cycle level, all right? The psychological level of 580. You see 575 acted well. Seller stepped in right before. We're going to be watching 580, all right? if price loses 570.42, you know, I know you have a bunch of price action going on here, but it's pretty sloppy. All right, it's very clear. If you lose this level, all right, maybe you come here, maybe you dance around here for a little bit, but you know, there's really not much all the way down here at 565.16. So I'm just going to keep the chart pretty clean for us going into the week. All right, under 570.42, we're looking for a test of 565.16. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. You have the daily 9 sitting there, but that is very clearly the cup and handle neckline over here, the zone, 560.81 to 565.16. That is where we are looking for buyers to defend. All right here, you literally flip this 560.81 level on this day right here, and then you were off to the races. We are going to watch this zone like a hawk. We're going to, you know, take our bets in that zone because that is where probability is going to be in our favor on the long side. Okay. And, you know, just a reminder, guys, this move very likely just started. You had your breakout over here. All right. Give it some time. It took some time. Yes, it did. You pulled back. All right. You kind of danced around. 20 days. That's 3 weeks, guys. All right. That's like if we pull back here. Okay. All right. From here over to here. If we spend this week in consolidation, pull back, and then get bought up by the end of the week, something like that, and put in a weekly hammer candlestick, we're going to have the same exact setup as over here. We took 3 weeks after breaking out over here. We took 3 weeks of consolidation / a back test of the neckline, all right, of where you just broke out from, and then we can go off to the races. You had a $40 move from that point, all right? So, you know, it did take some time over here, okay? It took like, you know, a month and a half, 2 months. Yeah, 2 months for that breakout to really see that full move. It's going to take time, guys. It's going to take time. We're going to, you know, of course, keep updating things as we go, but I want everybody just to remember, patience is going to pay, and patience is needed in this game. All right. This was a big break right there. We are probably going to at least see an equivalent move to this one, and we haven't even gotten close to that. All right. That is literally just the pullback for the handle. That's the measured move for the handle. We're talking the whole cup, massive. All right, that is a $50 move that's bringing us much higher. Okay, but you know, minimum, I'm looking for something like that. So yeah, pull back into 565.16. We're looking for buyers to defend. That's, you know, we don't gotta, you know, make it all complicated stuff. Now I'm actually gonna skip forward to Mr. VIX over here. Then we'll cover IWM and DIA. But I think this is going to be probably the most important thing out of all these indices, aside from that SPY chart right there, that we're going to be taking a look at in this video. Okay, guys, VIX does look like it could start perking up here. All right, you closed out with a weekly hammer candlestick. It definitely does, you know, suggest we could be, you know, can this thing get bought up? We could get a move all the way up here, 1936 to 2136. That's the zone we've been paying attention to. All right. Remember, guys, expect reactions in the zone. This is our heavily traded zone. There's nobody else on YouTube who watched the zone. Maybe there is. Let me know. But, you know, chances are he got it from this channel if he is. Or someone else is just thinking like me. I have absolutely no idea. But what I do know, guys, is this thing looks like it could start bouncing back from this heavily traded zone. Anytime we get into the zone, you get some sort of reaction towards the top and some sort of reaction towards the bottom. All right. So we're not looking to just slice underneath the zone here. We came over here, we called it out. All right, we're coming to the bottom of it. 15-minute RSI was oversold. Okay, going into Friday, it was also oversold with a bullish divergence on Wednesday into Thursday. Pointed that one out, and you were coming into the bottom of the range. We were looking for that reaction. What happened? You got a dang freaking nice reaction off of that, and now VIX has yeah, a 10% up day. Okay, you know, it could turn into something like this where you get slapped down. But, you know, you got above the daily 9. I know you got above it here, got above it here, got above it here. This is kind of a different look to you right now. And you kind of started perking up from the exact, you know, perfect location there. It's looking juicy. It's looking sexy. And if this thing goes up, SPY is probably going to be going down. All right. I don't think VIX is just going to, you know, print what it did this week and not, you know, continue at least a little higher. Just my opinion there. But this is why I was kind of pounding the table on, I think it was Thursday. The guys, we have absolutely no reason to not take profits and to sit back and relax. Do not put yourself in a, you know, mental state where you're going to be all anxious and frustrated and if the markets pull back. In reality, price does not go up. It doesn't go straight up. It doesn't go straight down. It is our job to, you know, maneuver these zigzags here. Okay. And an SPY, yeah, it's probably going to be going up, but it would be picture perfect to get a retest here. So, I was definitely making it very clear here in the past 2 videos that that is what we're going to be looking for. And I think everybody should be prepared for it. I will never give financial advice, but, I think everybody should be prepared for this. And that's that. Okay. So I am looking for VIX to continue higher. I want to just say 15-minute RSI does have a bearish divergence, so we could get a pullback, and then that pullback gets bought up on Mr. VIX. So maybe you come back to retest that daily 9, and then you go on from there. But guys, if you get above here, okay, just like you really got above it, like last time, like over there, you come back and retest it. Expect buyers there. Okay, so if VIX comes here and then it pulls back here, that's another hint for the future. Okay, if we see it start pulling back and it comes in contact with that daily 9, well, we know SPY is probably going to get another pullback because it's probably at least going to get a dead cat bounce. Okay, it would probably be somewhere around over here. Okay, see how it climbs up with price. That is a lagging indicator for you. It moves with price as price develops. So that's why they call them lagging indicators. But that's just kind of how these things go. But that's a little hint for what we have, moving forward. If we see this VIX spike continue and then it pulls back and the market starts bouncing on the pullback, we know it's probably just a dead cat bounce because, VIX is at least going to get a dead cat bounce over here off the reaction. All right. Happens almost every time when you get above it and you come back to retest it, you get the reaction. You get above it, even if it's, not going to actually get the fall through there, you retest it, you get the reaction. Okay, this right here is a pretty decent sized move. That's 10% move. That's going to be bringing indices down intraday. Markets are not going to like that. So, that's why I kind of said before, I think this is one of the most important charts. Or I think this is the most important chart besides the SPY chart that we should be taking a look at today going into the following week. All right, so moving on. IWM, guys, it also, you closed out with a nice upper wick there on Friday. You have a rather bullish candlestick over here on the weekly, but I am going to point out what happened last time you printed a hammer just like that. You did break out of that downtrend. You hit it with the retest. You got buyers off of that. I like the reaction over here. I don't like how you just have all these red candlesticks. And, you didn't get any follow through. All right, you got to bounce. It looked to be just a dead cat bounce so far. So, IWM's not looking the best in my personal opinion. I think small caps could just be taking a rest to trick everyone, and then they're going to carry on their way, and everyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, I knew it, I missed it. But the market takes time, and that's why I was saying patience is going to pay. The market literally likes to make it as painful as possible for all market participants, the most amount of market participants possible that they can cause pain to and damage to and take money from. That is their mission. That is their job every single day. So you got to keep that in mind. When we see a flat market, all right, the market makers, the dealers, they're just going to town. They're just taking people's money. That's their job. All right. That's why I always say increase the time on your contracts. Okay. Increase the time on your bet and your win rate is going to go up. That is how that works, because at the end of the day, you get a ton of this most of the time. All right, you get these impulsive moves and then you get these slow pullbacks. But the fact that this is a slow pullback tells me it's probably going to, get an impulsive buy around the corner. Because look at this, you got a slow buy and then you had an impulsive sell. Well, here we had an impulsive buy and a slow sell. All right, so, I kind of like that. I like how, how that's shaping up. And I will also point out, you do have that increasing volume here on these red candlesticks. That's not the best look, but I'll definitely just throw it in there. Now, support is going to be 220.02, 217.55, and underneath 217.55, you're going to flush all the way down there to 212. All right, 212.25. Above 220.02, we have 221.93 as resistance, 223.11, 224.94, and 226.64. I do think eventually we're going to wind up here. I just don't know how long this is going to take, so keep that one in mind. DIA. How we looking, guys? Nasty, all right? Like the fact that all these indices, okay, all 4 of the major indices suggest we're probably going to be pulling back. We're probably going to be pulling back, right? So keep it in mind that we probably are going to be pulling back. And I think, we should be positioned for that, whether you're, going to trade short or whether you're just going to do what I'm doing, just take a step back, all right? Just literally take a step back and just wait. All right. You took your profits and now you just want to wait for the next, very obvious opportunity. The market makes it so obvious when it comes And that's when you're going to have both sides just screaming as loud as you can. But, you know, if you're doing your own analysis, you should be able to see it. And if you don't know how to see it at these points, guys, I'll let you know when I see these things. Because, again, yeah, these pivot points are typically when everyone gets the loudest, okay? TSLA, large upper wick, resistance is 422.78. I know price is slightly above there, but, you know, price looks like it's going to get sucked back down into the range. So that is going to be our resistance for the week. Obviously, above there, we're watching Friday's high, which is 426.20. Underneath 422.78 is support. We have 418.50, 416.55, and we will leave it at that after 413.86. All right. So if we get the retest of 413.86, that would be the big break and retest over here. I think buyers would probably defend there. All right. So those are the indices. We're going to go over the FANG stocks now. Apple. All right. How we looking, guys? Apple is still just waiting here. It doesn't honestly look so bad to me. It looks like you just kind of had a, you know, inside week here, a consolidation week after your big impulsive move up. The grand scheme of things, guys, you're consolidating near this downtrend. I think you're probably going to break the downtrend, but, you know, of course, we're just going to watch it as we go. 227.48 is your support. You're holding that as of Friday. Under there, you have 223.90. You can see the reaction over here. The low of day was 227. Now 224.02. All right. So, you know, you do have buyers stepping in around here. So we're going to be paying attention to that level over there. Under there, we have 219.77. Now, price can break out of this downtrend. That's when we're paying attention to 232.92 and then 237.23. Microsoft, all right, this thing, you know, I'm just going to say low or high. If you take out this low, it's probably coming down here, just how I'm seeing it, okay? I do think at the end of the day, it's going to take out this high and start running it back up. I think this is, you know, nice contestant here for, you know, a dip buy this week if you get that deeper pullback over here to 419.88. But, you know, as of right now, you do have price in this heavily traded zone. It should be acting as demand, but as you see, we're back into it. We're going to need to see buyers step in here. If you lose 425.86, we're going to just be watching 419.88, okay? And, you know, if you just take the retracement from here to here, golden pocket's going to be down here. So, you know, if you see 413, that is amazing, okay? That would be a nice dip buy. Resistance is 430.82, 435.30, and then 441.85. Amazon, all right? I really like this one. If you pull back into here, right? I got my alert for that level. Pull back into 182.39. I would absolutely love it. That is your breakout level right here, okay? See how you had this breakout level? You hit it with the break and retest. Well, it's the same exact thing over here, all right? So 182.39 is going to be your break and retest level. You test that, expect buyers to be stepping in there. You do have earnings, you know, at the end of October over here. You could honestly just kind of consolidate and dance around, have a nice big range here going into the earnings. But, you know, I think if you get this pullback, I think you get bought up over here. So we at least get a nice opportunity before earnings. All right. So that's what I'm going to be paying attention to. I know you got this heavily traded 188 level right there. I'm going to take it off just to show there's really nothing in between here. All right, underneath 187.41, you're coming down to 182.39. You don't really have anything. The price is also underneath the daily 9. So maybe if we, you know, get a deeper pullback, maybe you're going to pull back to retest it and then continue lower. I don't know. All right, support 187.41, 182.39, 178.90. Resistance 190.60, 192.86, and 196.62. Goog. This is one that I think is still just heating up here. All right, you took a little breather this week. But what is important is you held that, or you got over and then held that weekly 9 EMA. That is something I pointed out in the last week's video, saying, you know, this thing looks ready to rumble, but it is right around that. So maybe we dance around there for a little while. And, you know, it didn't shape up exactly how I was thinking this dancing around it would happen. But, you know, it's really not looking all that bad. Okay. You know, it's just consolidating here. It's above the daily 9. If you pull back into 160, 163, I am personally going to add there to November contracts, and I like it. You know, if you came from over here, all right, you're up a decent amount. It didn't really matter what expiration you had. Like, you're up, you know, almost 100%, if not well over 100%. Not a bad idea to take those profits and wait for the pullback. But, you know, I think this thing really has not gone yet. This is just like Amazon over here. So this is Amazon. Goog is like right here. Okay. We really have not seen this rally start up yet. like, you know, it started, but it hasn't had, I talked about in the last video, it hasn't had the meat on the bone. All right. You just kind of got the bottom of the bone, top of the bone. Here's the meat. This move right here. Okay. I do think that is going to be coming. That's Goog for you. Above 166.61. Get a daily close above there. I think you're just going to head to 170.41. Meta, how we looking, guys? I like it to pull back over here to 542.81. I would love it on a pullback to 542.81. Support is 562.82, 554.19, 542.81, and 531.49. That is where you broke out from over here. So you got this breakout level. You got this one. I think this is probably going to be respected if tested. But, you know, this is buyer's line in the sand down here. You got to hold down here for that bigger move up. All right, resistance at 573.98. And above there, we have the high, which is 577.40. And then the 580 psych level. Tessie, all right, Mr. Tesla over here has broken above the 0.786 fib. I think it's likely heading up to 271. Above 271, we have 278.98 and then 299.29. On the weekly chart, this thing's looking like a freaking monster. All right, it's going to continue higher with all likelihood, and it's probably going to get up here. And I know I sounded crazy when I was saying it over here, but, you know, this is really what Tesla was set up to do, and this is what we had potential for, and now it's actually happening. And, yeah, I don't look so crazy no more, do I? Yeah.
That was easy.
That was right. Yeah. All right. But, yeah, support is going to be 252.28, 244.24, and 233.09. I don't think it's going to retest that neckline, but obviously that is the neckline for inverse head and shoulders there. I like it. All right. Semiconductors, what do we got going on, guys? What do we got? What do we got? All right, SMH, you're stalling out right here in your golden pocket. Support is going to be 245.87, 239.14. Resistance is 250.85, 255.92. NVIDIA, what do we got over here, guys? I know everybody sees what I see. It's very obvious here, which means it's probably going to take some time, but then play out because it's going to fake everyone. It's what I was saying about the small caps. Maybe they consolidate and fake everybody out, make everyone think the move's over and it's not happening, and then boom, it happens. Okay, that could be what NVIDIA is doing over here. It's just coiling up. It's just waiting to go. All right, you did find buyers off the daily 9 the other day. You held the 120.79 breakout level right here. I like how it's looking, but you know, if the broader market pulls back, this thing's probably very likely going to pull back with it. All right. So we're going to be paying attention to this 118.04 level over here. There's probably going to be a reaction spot that we get, you know, a $5 move or so off of that. But yeah, all right. Resistance is going to be 123.10, 127.67, and 130.75. Above there, we have the gray levels above. You know, support 120.79. We already know buyers are stepping in there. You have the daily 9 right under. So, you know, we all know this is going to be support resistance, whether price is above or below it. And if you don't know, just follow along with the channel and you will pick up everything I talk about, you know, probably within a week. All right. Because, you know, we spend time on these concepts. We go over the same concepts. We don't complicate things on this channel. And I hope you enjoy. All right. Support, though, underneath that daily 9, we're watching 118.04 and then 115.38. Avgo, how we looking? Big pullback to the 9. The level that stands out to me is 166.85. That's the level that I like. That's the level that's also the, you know, I mean, the double bottom neckline's right here, but you can see this is getting all the reactions right here. So we'll call this actually like the neckline. At least that's where the reactions are coming. You got this guy, you got this guy, this. All right. Whereas this doesn't have anything. All right. So underneath 172.42, we're watching 166.85, and that's where I'd personally like it. Also, right below that, depending how quick you do it, is going to be that downtrend. All right. That you broke out of. You have 1, 2, 3 touch points. That is a valid downtrend right there. If you retest it, expect buyers off of that. AMD, how we looking? I like it into the zone, 153.64 to 157.05. If you lose 162.04, expect price to come test 157.05. But again, this is where you just broke out from, so I won't be surprised to see buyers here, but I won't touch it until unless I get what I want, which is going to be down here. All right, this is your, you know, zone that's very clearly being respected here. We see that it, you know, slowly flipped into demand here. So if we come back into it, expect buyers there. It should be demand, buy orders. SMCI, guys, you know, being investigated by the DOJ or whatever, I wouldn't be touching this thing. There's not really a reason to touch it. We call it so much opportunity on this channel. It's ridiculous. You got the false breakout here, and then you slam right back in. That's kind of proof that you should not be touching this thing. You can touch it all you freaking want, but at the end of the day, it's about to have a stock split. And we have no idea what's coming from here, right? I know, you know, things, they look bullish, but at the same time, no, there's no reason. I'm telling you, I'm like more a bull than a bear. And I'm telling you right now, yes, it looks cool, but there's no reason to touch this thing. This thing is probably coming down here. We'll see how it goes, but I'm not touching until 357 gets hit. TSM, this is one I really like. You're coming into that inverse head and shoulders neckline at 175.44. That is where I like it. I'm just going to draw a zone here just to really draw the picture for us. All right, you got to hold this zone, which the zone comes all the way down to like 172. So 172 to 175. Expect buyers to step back in. You also have the daily 9 right here. I like this. All right, I really like it. And I think this is just going to be a pullback before it gets bought up. Again, 2 all-time highs, 193.47 incoming. MU guys already broke above 111, but it did not get the daily close. Get a daily close above 111. It's probably coming to 127.27. All right, that's what I'm going to be looking for. Then you're probably going to see this measure move. We could see 135. All right, you know, that's probably coming, but at the end of the day, it is in pullback mode right now. So we watch support 104.76, and then under there, you're going to have 97.69. It really does get that deeper pullback here. That'll be sexy, and I think this would be great. I got my alert for down here. I'm not going to be touching it until I, you know, unless I see what I want. That would be a test down here. All right, and daily 9 would catch up the price, mean it somewhere in the middle. So maybe you get a hammer candlestick down here, would be perfect. Okay, from there we look for that move up. ARM, all right. Congrats if you played this one with me. All right, you got your picture perfect breakout all week. You were just kind of, you know, going along. You got the breakout above here, came back to retest it. Okay, and then you broke out this bull flag, went straight to that third TP up there, and now you're pulling back. Now the thing is, you did not tap that 0.618 fib yet. I do think that will be tested. This pullback is a buying opportunity, right? So between 135.41 and 145, expect buyers to step back in for a move up to 153.50. All right, so that is those. Now we are going to talk about Bitcoin stonks. Guys, Bitcoin did go over the 0.6786 fit. Holy sweet baby Jesus word vomit. There we go. All right, Bitcoin did get over the 0.786 fib over here, but the daily RSI is overbought. So I pointed this out in yesterday's video. This thing could pull back here. The pullback is going to be creating an opportunity for us if it comes for the move up to here. All right, I do think this thing is about to get a breakout. I don't think it comes right away. All right, maybe this is just a little 2-day pullback before we, you know, rocket ship. I have absolutely no idea, but I did point out in yesterday's video, Bitcoin is either going to stall out right around here, get a pullback, and then continue higher, or it's going to start one of these things, the impulsive moves that it likes to have every now and then. And that's when we're going to see it really take off and take flight, and we're not going to care about the daily RSI for a while. Even when it pulls back, we're expecting it to not really get under 70, and then if it does, get bought up. All right, so, you know, I do think we are right around the corner from a move like that, and it's time, all right? And the fact that price got above here, above the 0.786 fib from this whole retracement there, that tells us it's probably coming up here to 70K. If it comes up to 70K, it's breaking out of this weekly bull flag. It looks freaking phenomenal. It looks sexy. You're consolidating right around over here. You're just soaking up that supply over here, those sell orders, and you're getting ready for another impulsive move. That is just my opinion. That's how I think this is queuing up here for us. I really like it. Now let's go over the miners. Okay, you come over here to coin, fresh breakout. The pullback is your buying opportunity if you get it. We called the bottom over here, all right, and we called the breakout over here. We said over here it was getting ready for the breakout, and now I'm saying, hey, all right, you definitely got the breakout. The pullback is a buying opportunity, okay? You got 191.21 resistance. If price is to stall out here, look for a retest of 177.39, and that is where we like that, okay? Which actually the level I'm going to watch is 175.39. That is the break and retest level right there. Above 191.21, we have 211.92, and then I do think you're coming up here to 224. We'll call it 225. All right, that's coin. MSTR, I do think it's heading up here to 200 bucks, but you know, in the short term, 183.70 is probably going to be hit. If you pull back, it's a buying opportunity. I'm just going to leave it at that. We covered this, you know, in full detail as we were going. All right, we're pounding the table on some of these guys that had ripperoonies recently, and this was one of them. All right, this is one with a sexy setup. It is now, you know, it's in parabolic mode. I don't know if it's going to do something like that, but I can say it's pretty obvious it's coming up to the top of the range here. Expect sellers in between 183.70 and 200. If it get over 200, then maybe you are in that parabolic mode. Maybe you're going a lot higher. Mara, and keep in mind, on MSTR over here, daily RSI is already overbought. You know, it can get heavily overbought, but we'll see. All right, we'll see. Mara did break out of that downtrend, did break out of that downtrend. It is looking sexy. Pull back to 1672. Expect buyers down there. All right, maybe gets a deeper pullback. We're going to just be watching over here. Golden pocket. It's going to be down there. But yeah, I do think it's heading up to 1873 and then 1991. That's Mara for you. CLSK, how we looking? You broke out of that downtrend, got above 975. If it pulls back and retests that level, expect buyers there. We're looking for a move up to 1084. Then 1275 and then 1370. All right, guys, now we're going to go over the 10 to 20 trade setups that we have going into this coming week, right? So I'm not going to spend a lot of time over on these because I already pointed them out, but, you know, just know these are the big boys, the things that, you know, just are heavily traded by, you know, pretty much the whole market over here. They have plenty of liquidity on them. And, you know, these are just those big guys that I do think have trade setups loading. We did already cover them, so I'm just going to be very brief on this. I like Goog. If it pulls back to 161.63, that's your buying opportunity for the move up here to 176. Meta, if you pull back to over here to 542.81, that's your break and retest. I like it either 531.49 or 542.81. I really like that. All right, and you can see on the weekly chart, it's a monster. Okay, pull back, give us a buying opportunity. It's probably going to get eaten up. Amazon, all right, also a freaking monster. But, you know, you pull back over here, 182.39. I really like it, all right, for, you know, at least a dead cat bounce. I think that level is probably going to be respected. And if it doesn't get respected, hey, all right, we have this golden pocket to watch, which is starting at the level below that at 178.90. TSM, sexiest chip stock right now, I can see. Break and retest. We pointed this out before it actually went. All right. We point out it had the inverse head and shoulders pattern. You've now gotten above the 0.786 fib. It's probably coming up here to 193.47. Pullback is a buying opportunity for that move. All right. This is the neckline. Pull back into 175.44. Hold 172 to 175. We really like it for the move back up. AMD I already talked about, but I really like it down here. I got my alert set for 157.05 right above there. I do think this zone, if tested, will be respected. That will at least give you your dead cat bounce, and you can have a trade off of there, right? 153.64 to 157.05 is where I like price. 4 longs. Coin, already talked about this one, but I'm going to say this thing's definitely starting to heat up. And if it gives you the buying opportunity, you buy it. No financial advice, but you buy it. I buy it. Okay, we all buy it. We all have a good time. Yes, earnings are right over here, but at the end of the day, this thing, if Bitcoin goes to all-time highs, this thing's coming up here. All right, that is a big boy move. That is $70 above the current price. It's probably also coming up here to $80. That is $90 above the current price. Buy some time, sit back and relax. This thing could very, very potentially pay there. Very well pay. I'm not even gonna say potential. It could very well freaking pay. All right, CLSK, this is another one we already covered, but I like this one off of 975. And, you know, I think this move has already started, but you get the pullback. It's a buying opportunity, all right? The daily 9 is going to be right over here by 975. Mara, already pointing this out. This is the ugliest of the bunch, in my opinion, out of all the crypto stocks we cover. We only cover 4 on this channel. But, you know, out of those guys, this is the, you know, it doesn't look the cleanest to me, but I do think this thing is going to end up coming up here and potentially up to 21 bucks. All right, you know, 21, 22 bucks. But, you know, expect sellers in between here and here. Very clearly, this is where you've had buyers stepping over here. All right, so now the people who bought here, they're probably going to be sellers if you come up to test that level. So expect it. Target, I'm going to keep, you know, pound the table on this one. I don't think it has taken off yet. I think we have a massive weekly setup here to pay attention to. And, you know, as it consolidates or pulls back, those are your buying opportunities for the move at least up to here to the 167.40 high. But if you break that, you're probably even coming up here to 183.89. And that is your, you know, broader inverse head and shoulders neckline right here. All right, that is the big boy. All right, PayPal. We point this one out over here. All right, here's an update / what are we doing moving forward with this guy? All right, I'm going to be watching 74.40. I do think this thing will be continuing higher, but you could very well get that pullback. All right, on the weekly time frame, like over here, very clear to see you got the inverse head and shoulders, neckline, breakout. All right, you hit it with the breakout, came back, tested that weekly 9. Also got the break and retest off of 68.21. That was the trade I did. We pointed out like 2 weeks ago. Now it's up here. It's stalling out at 79.27 resistance. Does look like it's going to be pulling back. And the levels I like off this is 74.40 and then 72.50. All right. So lose 76.54. Look for a move down to 74.40. And then 72.50 is, that's a big spot. That is actually on the daily chart. You can see that right over there, right? But that's where price consolidated around. I guess we probably, you can't see it on the weekly chart. I guess we'll just do this. In that zone. All right. So inside that zone, expect buyers to step in. That is what I'm looking for. Dell, this one, guys, we already pounded the table on it. We already got the move. Now I adjusted this golden pocket here. I'm no longer just, retracing this move right here. We already tapped that golden pocket, the 0.618 fib. I do think we are going to be seeing the larger move now up to 145 around there. This pullback is your buying opportunity into 166.60 to 120.07. That is your demand zone. You look for buyers to defend there. And if they can, you very likely just going to be brought up back to 127.59. That is at least a $7 gain for you. And at the most, it would be a $10 gain for you. Take out this high over here, 127.59. Take that level out. You're probably coming up to the next one at 133.63. I like this. This is probably the sexiest, thing that I'm looking at right now on this pullback. RBLX. Retesting where you broke out from. The setup here is on the weekly time frame. I really like it. All right. So I'm just going to keep it simple on this one. 42.66. That's where you really want to see buyers defend. You can see right here. I guess we'll have that zone right there. You want to see buyers defend down there. Weekly, weekly 9 is going to be right underpriced right now. But you are really just retesting this downtrend you just broke out of, and you are so far finding buyers there. So it's definitely something to pay attention to. If you get that large pullback here, 42.66, it's not a bad idea. Again, just an idea. ARC, all right. Now, we already pointed this one out not too long ago. But, this thing is definitely getting ready here for a breakout. I do think the breakout is coming. All right. It's here on the weekly time frame. And, yeah, it hasn't happened yet, but I do think it is right around the corner. And it is going to depend on the overall market here. If the market gives us that pullback we talked about in the beginning of the video, maybe it pulls back to 46.31, and that's your buying opportunity over here. I will not be playing this, but I will put the alert there so I can, discuss this when it happens. HIMS. All right. HIMS is one that looks like it will continue higher. This is one we pointed out. It was either going to, hold right here at the bottom, or it was because it broke under the 0.786 fib. And if it didn't hold 1364, it was coming down here. Okay. You bounced right at 1364, broke out of that falling wedge pattern. And now you're looking really freaking constructive. You got above 1761 with the higher high after making a, what looks like to be a higher low over here. This thing is probably going higher. Now we're watching for 1904 and then 2110 above there. Carvana. How are we looking at Carvana? I just want to point out on the weekly time frame, you love having these break and retests. The freshest break and retest that I can point to is going to be 159.85. This thing is probably heading up here, all right, to around 200 bucks. I think pullbacks are going to be buying opportunities. Am I going to be taking them? No. This thing is so freaking extended. It's ridiculous. I'm not chasing this thing up, but I'm just going to tell you, all right, it very well could get another break and retest opportunity right here off of 159.85. GME, all right, we talked about this at the bottom. We talked about it after it got this spike over here going into this week. It really did not get much of a move today, or not today, this week, but I do think this thing is heating up here. I think it could be getting a breakout. Not to, out into the future there, probably this week. All right, so that's something to pay attention to. Above, 22.79, we have 24.69 and then 29.79. Oxy, how are we looking over here, guys? I'm just going to point this one out because it does have the daily bullish divergence going on here. You can see it down here on the RSI. But I just want to say Warren Buffett is still increasing his position in this company. And I think I saw he's up to like 29% ownership or something like that. The fact that he's buying it means it's not going anywhere. So this is for you long-term investors out there. Hey, this dip is your buying opportunity. Invest with Warren. That's all I'll say on Oxy right here. All right, guys. So that is the video. Okay. Later today, I am going to be posting a bunch of charts on Twitter. All right. So go check out the link below over there. If you would like to trade with me, I trade futures every morning till around, around 12. We're going to say from 9 to 12. I will just be sitting there trading, and I will continuously update the charts for us as we go, so you guys can take these moves with me. And then you can also just, trade with me over there and get all my option trades. All right. So that link will also be down below. I appreciate your time. I hope you guys enjoyed this weekly update, our weekly preparation going into the following trading week. And with that being said, I'll catch y'all in the next one, which will be on Monday. Peace.